Decades of research are clear. Humans have a psychological need as fundamental as food or water. And most organizations and individuals overlook it. It's called relatedness, the need to belong, to feel connected, and to matter to others. As an executive coach and life coach, I have seen time and again how relatedness, or the lack of it, shapes motivation, performance, and even long-term health. Today, we'll unpack why this core human need is not optional, why ignoring it has real cost, and how leaders and individuals alike can cultivate environments where true connection thrives. This isn't just theory. It's the foundation of sustainable success in your work, your relationships, and your life. It's time to connect. Hey, my name is Greg from RenU. I'm a master coach helping people, teams, and organizations to know, design, and become themselves. RenU and I are here to help you live a life where you have control. In the 1980s, psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan introduced a simple but powerful idea. Human beings have three fundamental psychological needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. I covered autonomy in my last video right here. They discovered that these needs are not luxuries. They're essentials. Ignore them and motivation withers. Nurture them and people flourish. Relatedness, the need for meaningful connection, is the least understood and often the most neglected of the three. Think of relatedness like water to a plant, invisible yet life-giving. Without sufficient water, a plant might survive, but it will never thrive. The same is true for us. And there is another interesting point. Relatedness operates on multiple levels, and most people don't know that. First, there is intrapersonal relatedness, your relationship with yourself, feeling connected to your own values, needs, and emotions. When this is missing, no amount of external connection will fill the gap. Second is interpersonal relatedness, the quality of your relationships with others, your colleagues, your team, your community. It's about feeling seen, heard, and valued by the people around you. Third, there is transpersonal relatedness, the connection to something larger than yourself, a shared mission, a team objective, a company vision, or even a cause you believe in. This is what gives work and life greater meaning and brings you resilience. Relatedness is not about popularity, it's about belonging. Feeling known and valued by yourself, by others, and by the larger purpose you are part of. Susan Fowler's research expanded on this, showing that workplaces where relatedness is nurtured at all three levels see higher engagement, stronger collaboration, and far greater retention of staff. And for those that ignore it, well, they suffer from turnover, burnout, stagnation. Here is a question for you. How often do you check the water level of your connections? With yourself, with others, and with your larger purpose. Let's do an exercise. Grab a sheet of paper and reflect on those three areas. Intrapersonal. How connected do I feel to my own values and goals right now? Rate it 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 the highest. Interpersonal. How connected do I feel to the people I work and live with? Again, 1 to 10. Transpersonal. How connected do I feel to the bigger mission or purpose that guides my actions? Again, 1 to 10. These three dimensions create a map of your relational health and where you might need to refill your water supply. Once you have identified your gaps, the last question to ask yourself is, what is the biggest gap? And how would I fill that gap? It's tempting to think of relatedness as something that simply makes work a little nicer or life a bit more pleasant. But the truth is far more profound. Relatedness isn't just about motivation. It's about performance, health, and longevity. Let's look at the evidence. First, consider performance. Studies consistently show that people who feel connected to their colleagues outperform those who don't. Teams with strong interpersonal bonds communicate better, innovate more, and recover faster from any challenge and setback. A connected team is not just a happier team, it's a more effective one. Second, health. According to research from Julian Holt-Lundstad and her team, lacking a strong social relationship is as damaging to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Chronic loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, depression, and cognitive decline. In contrast, strong relational ties act like a protective shield, boosting immune function and stress resilience. Third, longevity. The Harvard study of adult development, one of the longest longitudinal studies ever conducted, reached a clear conclusion after 80 years. The quality of our relationships is the single biggest predictor of long-term happiness and a healthy life. Not wealth, not fame, relationships. Why? Because connection is the invisible fuel that powers more than just our motivation. It energizes our entire system, mentally, emotionally, physically. And this connection must exist on all three levels we discussed. Intrapersonal, feeling aligned with who you are and what you stand for reduces internal conflict and builds resilience. Interpersonal, trusting, meaningful relationships provide emotional support and psychological safety. Transpersonal, connecting to a larger mission or purpose gives you a reason to persist when things get tough. Without this connection, even the most talented individuals can burn out or disengage. Here's a question to consider for you. In what ways has a lack of connection with yourself, with others, or with a purpose held you back in the past? Now let's do another exercise. Reflect on a high point in your life, a moment you felt truly alive and at your best. Ask yourself, was I connected to my values? Was I connected to others? Was I connected to a larger goal or purpose? Write down your reflections. You'll often find that those moments weren't fueled by individual achievement alone. They were powered by the depth of your connections to the three level.
You like this video so far? Then you know what to do. Also subscribe and put on notifications if you want to receive content like this every week. Check out other YouTube videos from famous YouTube channels in the video description. It's always good to take a look at a topic through multiple lenses.
So if relatedness is essential, what actually builds it in a work environment? It turns out relatedness doesn't happen by accident. It's built through specific intentional elements. Let's walk through the essentials. First, psychological safety. This is the foundation. A term popularized by Professor Amy and Munson. Psychological safety means creating an environment where people feel safe to speak up, to take risks, to admit mistakes, without fear of embarrassment or punishment. Without psychological safety, people withhold ideas, they make mistakes, and they disengage. With it, collaboration and innovation usually thrive. The second one is trust. Trust is the currency of connection. It's built through consistency, competence, and care. Leaders and team members alike need to show up dependably, deliver on promises, and demonstrate genuine concern for each other's well-being. If you want to learn a lot more about the power of trust, check this out. Third is recognition and appreciation. People need to feel seen. Regular, authentic recognition, not just for results, but for effort and character, deepens bonds. It's about saying, I see you, you matter here. Fourth is shared purpose and goals. Humans crave belonging to something larger than themselves. Teams that rally around a shared mission or clear objectives tap into transpersonal relatedness. It's not just about hitting KPIs and results. It's about contributing to something meaningful together. Fifth one is authentic communication. Real conversations, not just transactional updates. This means sharing successes, struggles, hopes, and feedback openly, and listening with intent, not just to reply, but to understand. We can use a metaphor. Think of a team as a garden. Psychological safety is the quality of the soil, rich or depleted. Trust and communication are the water and sunlight, essential and consistent. Recognition is a fertilizer, the nourishment that encourages growth. Shared purpose? That's the gardener's design, the vision shaping what this garden will become. Here's a question to reflect on. What is your workplace like? More like a thriving garden or a barren desert when it comes to human connection? How can you make it into a beautiful garden? A simple exercise for you. Evaluate your current team or organization. For each of these 5 elements we've just talked about, psychological safety, trust, recognition, shared purpose, and authentic communication, rate how strong they are on a scale from 1, non-existent, to 10, exceptional. Where's the gaps? Where could a little more sunlight, water, or nourishment make a difference? Up until now, we've talked about what relatedness is and why it matters. But who is responsible for nurturing it in a team or organization? The answer is clear. Leaders, people managers, coordinators are the primary gardeners of relatedness. You can't force people to connect, but as a leader or a people manager or a coordinator, you can create the conditions where connection can grow. Let's break down what that looks like in practice. First, model vulnerability. Leaders set the tone. When you're open about your challenges and willing to say, I don't have all the answers, you create psychological permission for others to be real too. Brené Brown's research shows vulnerability is a birthplace of trust, innovation, and creativity, all fueled by genuine connection. Second, practice active listening. Listening, real listening, is an act of leadership. It's not about waiting to reply. It's about being present and showing others that their voice matters. When people feel heard, they feel seen. And when they feel seen, connection follows. Third, foster inclusivity. Create environments where every team member, regardless of background or perspective, feels they belong. Inclusion isn't about ticking diversity boxes. It's about ensuring that everyone feels safe, valued, and part of the mission. Fourth, reward collaboration, not just individual achievement. It's enough talking about heroes all the time. Celebrate team wins. Highlight moments of true partnership. If the only rewards go to solo stars, you encourage competition over connection. If collaboration is recognized and celebrated, you fuel relatedness. Fifth, anchors a team to a shared purpose. High-performing teams aren't just a collection of high-performing individuals. They are groups bound together by a compelling mission. Constantly brings a team back to the why behind the work, not just the what or the how. Much more about how you can build that with your team right here. Continuing on the metaphor we had before, as a leader, you're the gardener. You can't pull on a plant to make it grow faster, but you can tend to the soil, adjust the sunlight, and water consistently. Growth happens naturally when the environment is right. Here's a coaching question for you. As a leader, what seeds of connection are you planting? And what are you doing to tend them with enough care and consistency? In this exercise, you can identify one concrete action you can take this week to foster relatedness in your team. Here are some examples. Would it be holding a listening session where you simply hear your team's concerns? Or would it be about you opening about a personal learning moment to model vulnerability? It's not about the big things. It's about small, consistent actions which create an environment where connection can take root and where people can do their best together. Relatedness isn't just a soft skill. Relatedness is a cornerstone of human motivation, high performance, and well-being. It starts with you, extends to your relationships, and reaching out to the larger purpose you're connected to. Whether you're an individual seeking more fulfillment or a leader shaping the future of your team, remember, connection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. I will leave you with this thought from Harville Hendricks. We are born in relationship, we are wounded in relationship, and we can be healed in relationship. If you would like to understand why motivating people does not work and what does work, then you might want to check this video just right here.